How's it going, Laser Bruce's up, Bobby Sixkilla, welcome back to the Zodiac Trial. We're continuing through this path here that has already devolved into a mass amount of murder in a very short time period, actually. There's actually 3 gone already, and we have no idea who did it, except that they shot Pig through the doorway. Once more, I separated from the group to try and find the others. That's right, we're trying to reconvene everyone at the cafeteria. 1 dead, now 3. We're really dropping like flies. But I couldn't afford to linger like that. We'd spent too much time in that back and forth with Bunny. Time we couldn't afford. I rushed up to the 3rd floor to try and look for people, to tell them about what had happened. But before long I found Rooster and Ox in some history classroom. Ah, Mouse. Glad to have you here. Please come in and make yourself feel comfortable. What's wrong, Mouse? Why aren't you with Pig? So Rooster was acting dumb and Ox caught on quick. Business as usual. I can't imagine that you let Rooster out of your sight. Right, Ox? No, I can vouch for his location this whole time. Hey, right back at you, buddy. I've been watching you like a hawk. Alright then, here's what's been happening. In as few words as I could, I explained the situation to those two. That's awful tragic. Unspeakable. Well, I guess it's speakable. I didn't think something like this would actually happen. I guess Monkey was right to be concerned. No kidding. Anyways, I'm gathering everyone in the cafeteria to try and discuss things. Okay, we'll head down there now. Right after we finish this puzzle. Rooster, seriously? People are dead. But I'm so close. Wait, what are we talking about? We found a safe. We were trying to solve the puzzle to open it. Or more accurately, I'm trying to solve the puzzle to open it. He's just been punching in random number combinations. Hey now, let's not be so dismissive. Everybody has their own puzzle solving style. Just because you don't appreciate my style doesn't mean you have to be mean about it. Thanks for taking one for the team, Ox. Oh, somebody had to. Anyway, Rooster's not wrong in that we're close. And even though we need to discuss what's happening, we also need to find minor trinkets. Once we finish up here, we'll head down to the cafeteria. How's that sound? To be honest, I wasn't in love with the idea. I was trying to gather everyone in one place, so to keep people separated. Well, so long as they stay together, things should be fine. We were with Pig when she got shot. Alright, just make sure you don't take too long. Trust me, I don't want to spend any longer in a room alone with Rooster than I have to. I'm like, right here, guys. I know. And with that, I left them to continue their puzzle solving. I jogged down the hallway, popping into more classrooms, trying to find more people. Before too long, I ran into another unhappy pairing. Snake and Dragon were thoroughly inspecting a classroom in silence before I barged in. Mouse, sup? So the murders have begun. The how? Dude, the fuck you talking about? Mouse ran in here without her partner in a distressed state. The only thing I can imagine leading to such a situation would be if people have begun to die. That's freaky. And also probably not right, but I don't have time to argue about that. For what it's worth, you're correct in that people have begun to die. Seriously? You're not shitting me? Most unfortunate. Well then, what's been the point of having this prick follow me around then? I thought that was to prevent killings. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Anyways, Pig was shot from behind a door right in front of me. Then Tiger and Sheep were killed in the library, and Horse was assaulted. Well, what the hell's been going on? So I'm trying to figure out. For now, I'm gathering everyone in the cafeteria. Can you guys head over there? Sure thing. Without so much as another comment, Dragon walked out the door and began to make her way to the nearby staircase. I made to follow her, but before that, Snake grabbed my arm. I sighed. I couldn't imagine anything good coming out of this. Yes, Snake? What's with that tone of voice already? You know, Mouse, I'm starting to suspect you don't like me. Snake, we're in a high-tension situation right now, and I'm not really in the mood for your whole deal. If you got something to tell me, just say it. Okay, I was getting to that. Anyway, just to preface, this might not be that important. Already, I view it as something of a strict get to it. Right. So recently I've observed something unusual. Here's the thing. Before I could hear what the thing was, I heard the sound of shouting. This was the second time in so many minutes someone was cut off before saying something. To make it worse, it was Rooster shouting. I was so tempted to just ignore him, but unfortunately it sounded pretty serious. Hey, anybody, somebody, come here quick. Is there a doctor in this school? Please, it's a matter of life or death. We got a situation on our hands. Another time then. And with that, Snake ran towards the sound of Rooster's voice. And I followed him. Of course I did. And when I got there, for the third time in so much time, I was horrified. I bet it's Dragon this time. She went on her own. My momentum came to a sudden stop as the world seemed to spin around me. Because before my eyes, in the doorway of the classroom, I had left him. Ox was lying there, bleeding out. Ox! Dying. Like Pig, he was not dead, but dying. His body still spasmed. His eyes caught mine. They were filled with a mix of determination and fear. I couldn't keep his stare for long. My eyes dropped to the floor where flecks and dots of blood had spurted everywhere. Ox's neck had suffered a nasty cut, and I suppose the blood had just splurted out everywhere, like pushing down a gusher. Like a geyser? Ox, no. My breathing was becoming unsteady. Pig, sheep, tiger, ox. Why were the best of us dying off one by one? Was I next? How was that the best of us? Snake to my side was keeping notably better composure. Rooster, what happened? How should I know? Look, I was at the closet solving the puzzle Rooster style, so randomly inputting combinations. I resent that. Anyways, that's where I hear this really gnarly sound effect come from behind me. Before I know what's happening, Ox is on the ground right by the open door, dying. Immediately I think to check the nearby hallways, but of course, duh, who wouldn't? But I didn't see any signs of the attacker fleeing, so I called out for y'all. Ox, I can't believe he died like this. Nor can I. Mouse, you mentioned that Pig was shot. Why then was Ox killed with a blade? Well, the death happened in this doorway, right? Maybe the killer didn't expect Ox to be so close when he entered, and the knife was better suited for close quarters kill. Perhaps. Well, Tiger and Sheep weren't killed with a gun, so I don't know how much we can rely on that thought process. Maybe there are multiple killers. But Monkey already admitted to being a traitor, and she's tied up. So there should only be one traitor free. Oh, I didn't think of that. Why leave you alone, I wonder? Seems a tad odd. Clearly because they couldn't handle my sick fighting moves, so they knew to bail. And good on them. Wait, Snake, are you suspecting Rooster? If the shoe fits, so to speak. Rooster, why aren't you getting upset about this? Honestly, it's just an honor to be nominated as the master culprit. I take that as a sign of respect. Why? Well, with all the blood that's been shot out of Ox's neck, the killer should have clearly gotten a bunch of it on themselves. And yet the only blood on me is the bit on my hand from when I tried to help stifle the wound. So Snake probably thinks I was able to run to that nearby restroom, wash myself off and get back here to call you over before Ox died of a slash to the throat. Right? To be so thoroughly rebuked by Rooster of all people. This hurts. Like, we can all agree that Rooster sucks. No offense, Rooster. None taken. But I don't think he's a killer. Besides, if he killed Ox, wouldn't the weapon still be here? See, Mouse gets it. Look, we really need to just gather as a group in the cafeteria and debrief. If it wouldn't be too much trouble, I'd like to stay here and investigate for a bit longer. That was fucking funny. If being by myself is a concern to you, Rooster could stay with me. Yeah, I can do that. I'd really appreciate it if you could just go to the cafeteria now. And I'd really appreciate it if I could simply examine the scene for a bit longer. I could have sworn that I actually heard a small crack in my brain at that point. Fine, okay, whatever. Don't blame me if you get murdered. I won't. I will, though. Thoroughly done with all of that, I made my way to the staircase. Things were happening too fast. It was all just too much. I needed to ground myself again. And so, I made my way back to the cafeteria, praying that everyone left would have conglomerated there, so we'd have some sense of normalcy. However, as I passed the library, once more I saw a scene that nearly stopped me in my tracks. I fell to the floor due to the shock. This couldn't be reality. This must have been a dream. Oh, who's dead now? Dragon this time. The only thing that could explain how quickly the people were dying, how quickly the school was becoming a true hell. But I stood on my feet. I didn't even scream. I couldn't. I didn't want to risk alerting Dragon, who was crouching over a dead bunny. To the side, Horse also lay motionless, a bullet right through his head. The silenced post dangling in Dragon's hand was disconcerting, to say the least. The silenced pistol dangling in Dragon's hand. Sorry. I didn't know what to do or say. I just stood motionless. However, it appears that even without motion, Dragon noticed me. Instead of making some move, she continued to examine Bunny. And then she spoke. Do you know how the red dragons were formed? I didn't know how to respond to this sudden conversation change. Nah, of course you wouldn't. Some nice law student from a well-off family, you wouldn't know anything about it. See, the gang actually started out in juvenile centres. The prisons are shit. Only the strong survive. And so, to survive, a bunch of criminals from the same area of Hightower banded together. And when they got out of prison, they stayed together, survived together. Because that's what you gotta do. As far as I'm concerned, this man's more of a criminal than any of my friends. I mean, it's guys like him that have ruined my community, brought us where we are. But I mean it in a much more literal sense. I knew his face from somewhere, but I couldn't place it until I was reminded. This guy's a killer, shot an innocent man, and he walks free? But that's how it goes, you know. The judge doesn't sentence the cop, and come the next election time, the police endorses the judge once more. Someone from that fucking brutal cycle, some scum like that. It makes sense that he'd do what he did. Still, even I'm surprised how brutal he's being. Dragon, what do you mean? I mean the guy's the other traitor. Really? I come down to catch this prick standing over Horse's body, pistol in hand. I'm looking right pissed, but he suddenly stops me. Tells me to wait a minute. To look at this. He hands me Horse's tablet. Generously, I give him the time of day. I thought that maybe Horse was a traitor and this is some sort of self-defense. Turns out no, Horse isn't the determined personality at all. And right as I recognize that, Bunny pulls the gun on me. But I'm faster, and I knock it out of his hand. And then I give him a good old uppercut, send him flying to the ground face first. From there I just beat the ever-living shit out of him. Felt good. Felt right. And who would care about it? After all, the chaos and darkness of this race will tear away all this shit. Us survivors will write the truth. For good measure, I grabbed that busted lamp and choke him with the cord. And like that, we're saved. So he was the other traitor. Of course. Could I see his tablet then? Ah, that. It accidentally got broken when I was beating the shit out of him. My bad. Accidentally? I froze. I was with Bunny when Sheep was killed. When Tiger was killed. He couldn't be the culprit behind all this. But could Dragon? If we're looking for somebody who could break Sheep's windpipe, who could beat Tiger in a fight, who could land a blow on Horse, our options would be limited. But Dragon is one of the few people who still fit the profile. Could it be... Well, Dragon was the one holding the gun right now, so it wasn't really the time to bring up my theory. Okay, well, could you wait in the cafeteria for now? I'm still trying to gather everyone so we can clear up everything. Sure, I'll do that. And very calmly, Dragon walked out of the room and made her way to the cafeteria. I saw her start talking with Monkey, who at this point must have been very out of the loop. Alright, no matter what I did next, I needed more people. Snake and Rooster had long enough. I went to the nearest staircase and made the trek back up to the 3rd floor. These stairs felt so long. I'd been running up and down them for so long. But it wasn't long at all, was it? This had all been happening incredibly quickly, thinking about it. As I made my way up to the 3rd floor, I felt weary. I was just expecting something bad to happen. Which is why when I got to the classroom, I almost felt like laughing. I didn't, of course. It was just so absurd. There stood Snake over Rooster's bloody corpse, his arms caked in blood. What the fuck, Snake? I sense that you're upset. What the fuck, Snake? Okay, hear me out. You have a very brief amount of time. Before I get to where we're going, just let me say a few things. In Rooster's story, he should have at least heard the footstep of somebody running away. After thinking about it some more, the blood thing wouldn't matter much if he cut the throat from behind and is careful about it. I searched through the classroom and found the bloody letter opener hastily stuffed behind some textbooks. The same letter opener currently lying next to Rooster's dead body. I'm getting there, relax. Relax? Okay, perhaps not the best advice, just let me finish. When I showed Rooster the letter opener, he immediately lunged at me and snatched it from me. I say all of this to show how very reasonable it is to assume that Rooster possessed the desperate personality. I'm sad to say that Rooster does not, in fact, possess the desperate personality. God damn it, Snake. Listen, when he grabbed the letter opener, I saw killing intent in his eyes. So out of pure instinct, I grabbed a nearby textbook and hit him in the side of the head. And from the looks of things, from there he grabbed a nearby pen and stabbed him in the side of the throat? Yes. Snake. It was an honest mistake. It was murder. One could reasonably argue self-defense. One could if they were a dumbass. Now there's no need to be rude. I don't even... How does this keep happening? Why is this still happening? By the tone of voice, I presume more victims have shown up. Horse and Bunny. Dragon killed them. She did? Well, she killed Bunny. I don't know about Horse, but I'm assuming she's the traitor. I have to doubt that. You do? She was partnered up with me, remember? which means I very much doubt she had the opportunity to commit all those murders. I mean, the pig murder took place on the first floor in the 5th round. Yeah, I kind of get the feeling that everyone is murdering everyone at this point. Then yes, she simply could not have done it. Then in that case, was it Bunny? But no, he should have an alibi too. My mind started to spin. I need to keep my feet on the ground as hard as it was. You're going to get arrested for this. You know that, right? Oh, Mouse, no need to be so dramatic. Surely we can work something out. This can all be erased by the chaos and the darkness. The truth can be written by us, survivors. What, you mean exactly what Dragon said? Something was going off in the back of my mind, but for now, I need to keep pressing forward. The cafeteria is still the meeting space. Alright, I'll head there now. Oh no, we'll head there now. I'm not going to let people go off on their own anymore. A fair request. And so with Snake very much in my line of sight, I made my way down to the cafeteria. There was Dragon and Monkey, who was still tied up. Mouse, there you are. Monkey? Is it Monkey? Is she the one controlling everything from behind the scenes? She can win with a certain number of people if she comes last, right? I feel like she's controlling everything. Seeing a familiar face triggered all that exhaustion that I'd been holding back to catch up with me at once. Mouse, I'm worried for you. It appears you're doing an awful lot on your own. This can't be healthy. Yeah, well, dying also isn't healthy, but I'm trying to stop it the best I can. Done a real good job of that. Hey, fuck you. Whoa, okay. Breathe, Mouse. Remember what I taught you. Breathe. That's right, how could I forget? Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Right now, there's only 4 of us here. One of us can't survive. A perilous situation, to be sure. There's one person beside us who's still alive, at least as far as we know. Dog. Figured a shady bastard like him would stick around. There's a lot we need to go over, and before we do that, I'd like to have him here. So here's what's going to happen. Snake, Dragon, you stay here with Monkey, and the 3 of you keep an eye on each other, and an eye out for distant threats. I'm going to go find Dog, alive or dead. Mouse, are you sure about that? Given everything that's happened, I'm finding Dog, one way or another. I respect it. Good luck, Mouse. Both of their statements felt pretty hollow to me, but there wasn't much I could do about it. Was leaving those 3 to themselves and wandering off to the school alone a good idea? Probably not. But what was I going to do? People were dying left and right for no apparent reason. I was at a complete loss. I couldn't think of the best thing to do, so I was doing this. I started looking around on the first floor for where Dog might be. But perhaps to be expected, I couldn't find him. Why would I be able to? That would mean something was going right in this goddamn hellscape of a school. This long 6th round was starting to come to a close, so I found a nearby classroom and input my action. After being sure that Dog was nowhere to be found on the first floor, I decided to head back to the cafeteria to make sure nothing had happened. And how many people are dead this time? Something had happened. Monkey? What happened? Why did this... She killed everyone? I couldn't vocalize my oncoming breakdown. It was pretty obvious what I was referring to. After all, in front of a tied-up Monkey, Dragon and Snake, and they lay motionless on the floor. Their tablets had both fallen in between them. Blood flowed from their collars. This wasn't a murder. This is an execution. I wish I could tell you, Mouse. I truly do. I mean, this is pretty scarring for me as well. Well, not that it'll matter for long. But you must know something. You were sitting right there. It was all pretty standard at first. The 2 were arguing over some inanities. I had my eyes closed. I was doing some meditation. The situation sort of necessitated it, and then all of a sudden I heard them cry out in pain. Their collars, they were... Monkey began to choke up. She struggled to look me in the eyes. I recognized that I wasn't the only one being broken down by all this. I have to assume that there was some sort of major trinket at work here. That's really the only explanation I could fathom. A major trinket? Of course. Of course some major trinket would just kill Snake and Dragon. Damn it! I should have asked them both more questions when I had the chance. And now... Mouse, this isn't advice I should be giving you, but... I think you need to go on the offensive. What do you mean? Well, if I understand everything right, then it must be Dog that used the major trinket that killed Dragon and Snake. He's the only one else alive, right? Right. Then he must be the desperate personality. And indeed, this seems pretty desperate. I said we needed to pair up, and look what has happened. The one person who's been alone this whole time has been able to take people out one by one. Well, I guess that's not entirely true. Both Dragon and Snake were a bit confused and ended up killing 2 other people out of paranoia and confusion. But pig, sheep, tiger, horse, ox, dragon, snake, I believe there's 1 suspect left. 2 suspects left. Mouse, you can't be serious, can you? I know you're scared, but please, take a moment and calm yourself. Consider. I'm on your side, Mouse. I've just been trying to help. And I've been tied up this whole time. It's impossible for me to have done anything. I'm not talking about you, monkey. I'm talking about Brian. Brian? This whole thing, it's all bullshit. He must have brought us here and then, with us trapped, he snuck inside the school and began to off us one by one. He's the true murderer. Mouse, you're not thinking clearly. And that's understandable. It's a very unclear situation. But the Brian I knew would never do that. Would the Brian you knew host a death game like this? Yes he would. He was unwell, Mouse. I said as much. But in this whole design, I see him in this. It's incredible, really, how much it fits him. In a horrific way, don't get me wrong. But as dark and vengeful and motivated he might have been, Brian always felt a sense of fairness. There's no way he'd break his own rules like that, Mouse. And I don't think he has it in him to commit murder himself. Just to put the pieces in place and let the people topple over on their own. So then it's Dog. Breathe. Thinking about it rationally, Monkey made sense. My need to pin it on an unexplained third party was irrational. There was no evidence to suggest something like that. Dog was the obvious culprit. So now, Mouse, you have to act. If he has some major trinket that can remotely execute people, you can't just wait here. Odds are the trinket has some sort of prerequisites required to execute someone. So it's not all powerful, but that doesn't mean you can wait him out. You need to strike first. I know, but even if he's coming after me, to kill someone, it's not going to be pretty, but it's necessary. And after this is all over, you can forget about it all. The chaos and darkness of this race will erase what happens here. The truth will be written by the survivors. Or survivor, I suppose. It'll be hard to live on alone, but you'll have to do it, Mouse. The idea that Dog was the traitor, that he killed all of us. So should I go deal with him first, right? No. Monkey's so dodgy, and why is everyone talking about the frickin' the truth will be written by the survivors thing? Wrong. Maybe if Dog really was this monster, I'd be justified in striking first. Is Dog really behind it all? I would assume so. After all, he's the only one left, right? Just because he's the only one doesn't mean he did it. I mean, that makes it more likely, but you can't ignore all the evidence just to fit a narrative. And the evidence just doesn't add up for Dog being the killer. Why only use a gun when killing Pig and Horse? He certainly doesn't seem the type to be able to crush a windpipe or beat Tiger in a straight-up fight. Why would he leave the pistol in the library? Dragon and Snake weren't wrong that Bunny and Rooster's responses were suspicious. It's just, it doesn't fit. Maybe, but I don't think anything you just said is definitive. Dog might just be decently competent, deceptively competent. At any rate, if it wasn't Dog, then it had to be someone already dead, right? So who? Bunny, Rooster, Dragon, Snake? Well, we should start from the beginning, right? I needed to really think things through. The whole world started to break when Pig was killed. If I wanted to piece things back together, I needed to start there. So then, the person who killed Pig. Oh, fuck. Alright, I'm gonna save. Who could have killed Pig? When Pig was killed, Ox and Rooster were together, it can't have been them, and Dragon and Snake were together, it can't have been them. Right? So that only leaves... Is she on the list? Monkey? No, she's not. So that only leaves Tiger, Bunny, and Horse as the options for that one. Who were they paired up with? Who was with who? Tiger and Bunny were together, right? Oh, sheep. What about sheep? Horse and sheep were together, weren't they? But I don't think either of those could... I'm gonna go with Bunny. That's my guess. It had to be Bunny, I guess. Bunny, eh? Dragon's account of him was pretty suspicious. I don't think it's wrong to assume he was trying to kill Dragon there. He's the type to use pistols to carry out his dirty work, and he's unaccounted for at the murder at a number of time periods. But he is accounted for at the most important time period, right? Apparently Tiger said he was with her when Pig was shot. Doesn't that clear it? I totally forgot about that. Alright, Mouse, we all make mistakes. That said, I know you don't want to accept the easy answer, but doesn't Dog being the culprit make the most sense? I guess, yeah, that does make sense. I didn't want to accept it, but it seemed to be the only option. We're going to let the fail play out, because I know I failed. But we'll let that play out, and then we'll come back and get it right. Dog was the true culprit. Okay then. It's simple self-defense. He's killed 9 people. I'm not going to let him make it 10. Monkey anxiously tapped her fingers on the side of the chair. Yes, Mouse, you're right. Your father would agree. This is the correct decision. It's a shame, but it has to be done. Could I suggest, Mouse, that you grab the pistol from Dragon's corpse? That should give you a major advantage. Alright, good thinking, Monkey. I walked over to the horrific sight and did the accursed act of rummaging through the dead body. Sure enough, there was a pistol, and with it I summoned my resolve. I was here to bring back sanity, and to do that, I needed to kill the madness. Kill Dog. Of course, to do that, I need to find him. The first floor was covered, so that left the second and third. We're gonna get some metal now. I had no basis to suspect he'd be on one or the other, so I decided to start checking the third. We're gonna John McClane it. Luckily enough, I stumbled across him soon enough. He was sitting lazily on a couch in some student commons area. The moment I saw him, I raised my pistol at him. Whoa, hey Mouse, what are you doing? The question is, what have you done, Dog? A lot of stuff, if I'm being honest, but I imagine you're talking about something in specific. Stop with the games. You've killed 9 people, you don't get to joke around. 9 people, wow, good job me. It's the first time I've heard about it though. His expression didn't falter. Is he telling the truth? No, focus. Bullshit, you're the only one it could be. I mean, I have to imagine that's wrong, but I can tell based on your expression that you're not changing your mind. Right. And so you're determined to kill me before I kill you? Yes. By shooting me? Yes. Huh. Shoot me with a gun that has its safety on. Bold play. We'll see how it plays out. Safety on? Fuck, my lack of knowledge around guns was biting me in the ass. My eyes drifted to the weapon in my hands, and in that instant, Dog made a blisteringly quick move. Before I could do anything, he pulled the pistol out from behind his back and shot me in the stomach. Fuck. He had another pistol? I tried to hold on, to fire back at him, but I didn't have it in me. Soon I collapsed to the floor. I could feel the floor getting wet around me. I could feel my life slipping from me, and I could hear the monotonous voice apologizing beyond my vision. Ah, damn, I meant to hit your shoulder, to disarm you, you know? Too bad I'm a shitty shot, my bad, really, this is on me. Fuck you. That was the last thought that crossed my mind before my grip of consciousness slipped away. 10 of diamonds. Mouse confronting Dog is a bad idea for a number of reasons. Chief among them is that Mouse is horrible at confrontations. She's not heartless or skilled enough to take the initiative in a situation like that. Had she only fired first, talked later, things would have turned out so much better. But that's not her nature, and so it won't happen. So a new route must be found. Okay, well I guess we'll wrap this one up here, and when we come back we'll do that the right way rather than fucking it up. And then we will have gotten to the end of that one, and we'll have to skip back a few choices to try and figure out what to do next. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.